Well, hello guys, how you doing? Well, I'm using relatively new software. I've been tweaking it, so each one I'm experimenting with different things. So who knows what will happen? But we're always trying something different. Looks like we have sound, I think, and my monitor's catching up with me, but it looks like it does. So we'll just shout out in the comments. Hey everyone, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. So, a couple of housekeeping things. I am using my phone as a camera, but I'm not streaming directly through it. So I see over my monitor that I have 3 people watching, but your little icons don't pop up. So if you wanted to, if you wish, right? If you want to say hi in the comments and anything like that, that would be wonderful. So I'm going to try this new thing using the, oh, look at that. I think it's going to work. It's the thing with stuff like this is automation, automation, automation. And especially if you're a solopreneur, buzzword for a while now, automating the processes are huge because you're just one person. And that's one of the things that I spent a lot of time actually. Oh, and actually there. So there's the stuff you need to see over there, how to find me and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so if I do this and do this, it should switch back. Look at that. Cool. Automating the processes is everything. And that's why I've spent a lot of time, and I still am, tweaking and things like that. And it fits with our manifesting practices too, right? They need to be simple, right? We don't want anything that's too terribly complex. Now let's see, if I do that, that will do, oh, look at that. We don't need to have anything that's terribly complex because it's in the application of the understanding, right? Not the complexity of the process that makes all the difference in the world. I'm just going to change. Oh yeah, we do. Cool. Anything else? Done housekeeping things. I'm also streaming this live to YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I would greatly appreciate it if you'd go below. If you haven't, click on subscribe. And then there's a little bell beside it. You can click on that as well. Really helps me. The more subscribers that I have, the more views that I have, the more that YouTube likes the videos, and then they'll get promoted in different ways and things like that. So for me, and as I mentioned before, I got monitors here and here, so I'm kind of checking back and forth. Things seem to be working well. It's about getting the message out, right? For sure. Okay, so let's hop into the topic. Let's bring in Mr. Flipchart. So there's Mr. Flipchart. Hello, Mr. Flipchart. Mr. Flipchart says, there he is. Maybe he said too much coffee this morning. That's a pretty crazy looking high. Anyway. So, oh, how did I do this? I think if we do that, does that bring that up? Let's see if it works. So I built a little intro video and I'm playing around, folks. So let's see if it comes on. Well, look at that. It worked. Isn't that cool? And so now if I go back to Don't Mind Me, there, cool. It was me and my titles. I thought that, I'm reading it over here. Miracles have no memory. I don't know, it just kind of sounded cool, right? Miracles have no memory. And it's actually accurate. So for me, the first thing is, as you guys know, words, so if I do that, it should switch back. I want the intro. That was funny. Let's do that. There we go. So words have energy. Words have vibration. Words have power, if you will. So think of the word miracle. So Mr. Flipchart, he says, if you think of the word, like if you, oops, and I got to switch him back. Think of the word miracle. It's, oh, okay, that's what was happening. So when we use the word miracle, often the way it's framed is a miracle is probably not going to happen, right? When we use the word miracle, it's not like, well, I'm going to get up this morning and I'm going to make some coffee, boy, and it'll be a miracle if I actually get the coffee made. Now, it could be for you, but for me, it's not. It's pretty, I'm going to get up and I'm going to have a coffee. Right? So why don't we call that a miracle, right? But when we say it's going to take a miracle for this to work out, whatever this is, right? So I think that's the first thing is these miracles, if you will, to understand what they are, what they're not. And it's really interesting, the context. So how we, and I'm going to bring this back. Oh, I think it's going to work for me. So the way we sort of frame a miracle, and using, geometrics, I should have the little graphic up here somewhere. So what's geometrics? Of course, you guys know this, but I'm also kind of playing around. Right, so geometrics, and if I do that, come back to there. So the circles and the triangles and all that cool kind of stuff. So a miracle. Here's my circle, right? And we're going to use two scenarios. So the first scenario is, for me, I get up in the morning and I go make a coffee. Now, where would that fit in this circle? So this is making coffee in the morning, right? So that is very logical, right? It is very possible, right? So everything inside this circle is logical, is simple, is easy, right? So it's just normal. You get up and you do it, right? So in this map, where do miracles fit? Well, they sure don't fit in here, do they? They don't fit in here. They fit out here. Right? So by definition, this is logical. So what are these going to be? Well, I'm going to use a simple word. I could call it crazy, right? Or illogical. I always forget how to spell that, so we'll try this and see what happens, right? So they're illogical, or we could say nonsense, right? When you think about it, nonsense. Right? In here, this makes perfect sense. It makes all the sense in the world, right? You get up, you make a coffee, or you get up and walk across a room, or you get up and do whatever, right? But if it's a miracle, it's like, it makes no sense, right? Oh, hey, Margaret, how you doing? I got to look way over here to see the comment, so thanks for that. I need to do a little, like an alert or something that I can set, so it gives a little bing when somebody likes a comment. So when we use the word miracle, it's at this point, our words we're using, it's like crazy, it makes no sense, or inside is very possible that I could get up and make a coffee. This one is impossible. Right? So when we use that word miracle, in a way, what we're saying is, this is impossible. Otherwise, we wouldn't use the word miracle. We may say this is challenging. We may say this is difficult. Now, if I do this, I should be able to switch back. We may say this is challenging. We may say this is difficult. We may say this is hard. But we don't say it's impossible. If we say it's impossible, now we're getting back to the whole miracle thing, right? So inside the circle, it's simple and it's easy. Outside the circle, or in the miracle realm, if you will, it's going to be difficult. And it's going to be, I'm going to say, complicated, right? I'm running out of room. But anyway, but it's complicated. So the first thing, and this is the thing for me, is it's almost like stop using the word miracle. Because as soon as I say that, it's almost like I'm setting myself up to fail, right? It's going to take a miracle for fill in the blanks. So that energy that we're introducing it is going to be, oh, this works really well. It's keys. It's almost like a keyboard. So it is a keyboard, like a keypad I can hit to switch all this stuff up rather than a mouse. We're almost setting ourselves up for failure, if you want to put it that way. Or at least we're leveraging everything against us, because when we say miracle, that fits here. And what else is here? Well, that makes no sense. Right? It's going to be impossible, really. It's going to be impossible. It's going to be illogical. Big ones here. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be complicated. And this is where, again, our logic, it's a wonderful tool, but there are times when it isn't the tool we could best use for the situation. And so often, when we're stepping into working with principles or laws, if we want to use that word, the whole law of attraction, we call it the creative flow. They don't necessarily live in here, at least not initially. And so this is where, and I can't remember who I was listening to, smart guy, he was saying, it's really very simple, but it takes one very simple and monumental step to step from in here to out here. Because this is good. Because you have been so conditioned or programmed to think, to contemplate, to plan, to live in here. And anything outside of that, this is really good. Anything outside of that is this. And the words that'll more often be used is this one, is this one, is this one, is this one. Right? But what's really interesting is the people, and I've experienced this too, is the people that have introduced, the ones you read the books about, and you watch the movies about, and you use their devices, you do and all that kind of stuff, right? They regularly go from here willingly into here. And initially, it really does feel like an assault on your logic, because it is. Oh, that's good. So the reason stepping into the miraculous feels like an assault on your logic is because it is, right? Because our logic says you stay in here, and we've been conditioned to do what's logical, to think what's logical, to contemplate what's possible. Now we're going to segue into something here. To contemplate what's possible, not step into the impossible. And it's so insidious how it sits within outside of our awareness, so in our subconscious, that we stop even thinking thoughts or focusing on thoughts out here. Now, why? Okay. So I was thinking about this morning, which is sort of the inspiration for this session, this broadcast. So when we talk about miracles, in order to step into that, it really requires us to change, I think, in many ways, the way we choose to think, and an understanding of really, if you want to call it law of attraction, or we call it the creative flow or manifesting. So one of the things, this is why I kind of said miracles have no memory, which is kind of, I thought it was kind of cool, right? So the creative flow, that's the label we use. So, whoa, that's bad, but it'll work. The creative flow. So the creative flow is that process that takes the non-physical into the physical. And again, we've got other teachings on that, but we'll just go with that for now, right? So there's a process that takes things that are non-physical and gives them form in the physical. Now, we might not be able to physically see that process, but it doesn't mean we don't experience and see the effects of it. Now, a really, really accurate comparison is gravity. Right? Gravity. I can't see gravity, but gravity is impressing itself on this pen right now. And if I let go, what will happen? Gravity will cause the pen to drop. Now, here's a really valuable teaching in that. So the creative flow, that which gives form to the non-physical, is always, and this is where my whole thing, and it was kind of a cool catchphrase, but it's really accurate too, is the creative flow is always present moment. Right? So when I said that miracles had no memory, that's really very accurate. And what I mean by that is that creative flow, which is what we need to step into, to step out of or outside of our logic and into the miraculous, if you will, is first of all just to understand it. And that's the thing. Right? Here's what's really funny. I'm using my phone as a camera, so I can't use this as an example. But man, I tell you, us humans, we are weird ass creatures. So you talk about, let's say, law of attraction, and that's kind of one of the big buzzwords. Again, we call it creative flow. Or you talk about things like this, right? This stuff out here. And people go, well, that makes no sense at all. There's no proof to that. There's blah, 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 blah. And if I don't know, and the kind of the thing is, if I don't know how it works, then it must not work. Right? Because our logic can grow, it can expand, right? What's really interesting is as you do this, this will start to expand. And then those things that made no sense before now make perfect sense now. And I think that's the thing. If you want to step into the miraculous, quote unquote miraculous, the first thing you need to do is stretch your logic so the miraculous isn't a miracle anymore. See, that's the whole thing, is as you stretch this, it's very much like stretching a muscle, right? So now it goes from here out to here. So now this circle is like out here. So now before this desire that you had that made no sense, that was impossible, that was, difficult and all that cool stuff, now it's not anymore. Why? Because your logic has expanded. And then it's not stupid, it's not crazy, it's not insane. It makes all the sense in the world. Why wouldn't it happen? Now here's the neat thing about it. We use phones all the time. We have no clue. Think about it. Now, if that isn't a miracle, I don't know what is, right? You got this little thing in your hand. You're maybe watching this video, using it right now. And my bandwidth is a little bit sketchy on this. But you're using it right now. We can FaceTime. We can do all this. We can connect around the world. We can watch this live broadcast. We have no freaking clue how it works, but we still use it. When you think about it, look at gravity, right? We can't see gravity, but we can experience the effects of gravity. And gravity, just like the creative flow, which is what we need to step into if we want to manifest the miraculous, quote unquote, is to remember it's always present moment. See, gravity only affects the present moment. Gravity does not affect yesterday. I mean, think about it. Right? The gravity that affects this pen today, it doesn't, what's yesterday, right? It's always present moment, which means, and here's the whole thing, right? Which kind of fits into this, which means miracles, if you will, or this creative flow has no past and no future. Now, why is this a game changer? Because logically, we have been conditioned to believe that the past creates the present and the future, right? Yes, we can introduce change and all that kind of stuff, but we've got this huge ass momentum from the past. This kind of, it's kind of, I think I talked about this maybe even yesterday. It's dictating the trajectory that we're going to go, right? Because the past recreates itself in the present, which therefore creates the future, right? And so we need to change the way we really think about using this creative flow, law of attraction. Again, pick your label. And so because it's present moment, it's not about this is what happened yesterday, therefore this is what I am doing today, and this is therefore what will happen tomorrow. See, what's interesting is this is when we introduce usually these two guys right here. Difficulty, complexity, and the other one which fits in really nice is time. Whoops. Right. Difficulty, complexity, and time. Because here's how that works. How do we know something will be difficult and it's going to take a long period of time? There's only one way we know that. That's based on the past. Right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be smart enough to know, right? Or something's difficult. So how do you know that's difficult? Well, the only way you would know it is difficult is you've based it on past experience, right? But this process, this creative flow, this miracles, all that kind of stuff, law of attraction, blah, 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 is always present moment. So that's the first thing to do, is we need to interact with this, think of it as gravity, in a different way. And it's not, this is what happened, this is what will happen. Because when you do that, you're not accessing, at least fully, the power of the creative flow, which is in this moment. So then what do we do? So how we influence things in this present moment is not based on past, future. It's based on, and this might sound like a corny word, but it's true, it's based on vibration. Right? And we'll give a label to it. Right? Emotion. Right. And as we talked about, I can't remember when, maybe it was yesterday, that emotion, the word is a label, the sensation is a vibration in our body, right? So how do we interact with the creative flow is the words that we use. We interact with it based on the sensations that we feel in our body, which we label as emotions, right? But let's just throw the label of emotions out for now. Let's just talk about the vibrations that we feel in our body. And I believe we actually have a workshop tonight at 7 o'clock. Go to healingcenter.ca to find it. I'll actually head over here because I think might be here on understanding emotions and what they really are, right? And how to manage them and things like that. So the creative flow, and I'm just going there now. So if you go to healingcenter.ca, I'm on a different computer, so I can't bring it up online here or on the feed. But boy, this one is low like molasses. Hold on here. Just about there. Yes, understanding emotions is vibrations in our body tonight at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. God, I need more coffee. 7 p.m. So yes, it is there. Anyway, it listens to the vibrations in our body, right? So that's how we, if you will, communicate with this. It's based on what we're feeling, not even so much on what we're thinking, but what we're feeling. Now, our thoughts, I did talk about this yesterday. Our thoughts create sensations in our body, i.e. emotions, right? That's the process. You see, when you're interacting, do I have that on screen yet? When you're working out here, we're using different mechanisms. We're not using, if you will, logic. This is what happened. This is what is happening. This is what will happen. What we're doing now is we're going, thoughts that I think about to create sensations in my body. And the sensations in my body is what's interacting with the creative flow. Okay, so the sensations in your body is what the creative flow is listening to, right? It's kind of like a frequency, if you will, that we connect with, right? That's the frequency or the range of frequencies, if you will, that the creative flow is interacting with. Not even so much what we think, although that's a piece of it, but it's the vibrations in our body. That's the powerhouse. And this is why this small step or into insanity kind of thing is so powerful, because in our manifesting manual, I have kind of I can't remember what it is. It's like a list of bullet points kind of thing. And one of them is using these processes. There's two things. Using these processes is going to cause you to think differently than 99% of the people around you. Other piece of that is using these processes, 99% of the people around you are probably going to think you're crazy using these processes. There's going to be times you think you're crazy, right? But it's not so much crazy. It's just we've been conditioned that this is crazy. And then we never step into it. So you never find out that maybe it's not, right? But that's the thing. So what we're doing is we're creating thoughts, right? Which create vibrations, emotional experiences, vibrations in our body. And that's what's interacting with this creative flow. And it's always present moment. So the beauty of this, and thank goodness for this, is it doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter what you did 10 years ago. It doesn't matter how many times, you beat yourself up for not being good enough, not meeting the mark, not meeting expectations, all that kind of stuff. What really matters, and this flow, gravity, creative flow, right? There's always present moment, has no idea what you're talking about. I mean, gravity, if you talk about gravity, what fell down yesterday, the gravity is always present moment, has no clue, right? It's always affecting things in the present moment and only the present moment. So it doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter how good, how bad, how whatever. It's right now. And it's what are the thoughts that you're thinking and the sensations that you're feeling. This is why convergence method is so powerful, because convergence method is all about introducing those physical sensations within your body, right? Yeah, we're dropping frames like crazy. Network's buggered. Anyway, it's about the sensations that you're feeling in your body right now, not yesterday, not the day after tomorrow. It's right now. So right now, and I will wrap with this because I don't know how good the stream is, but right now, and I have a cool intro video that we'll finish off with. Right now, what are the thoughts that you're choosing to focus on and the sensations that you're feeling in your body? Because that's what matters. That's really, really what matters. Is who do you choose to be right now? Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but right now. What's the story that you're telling about you right now? Not the story you said yesterday, not the story tomorrow. What's the story you're telling about yourself right now? Because when you focus on that, as you focus on that, you are now stepping into what so many of the normals would call miraculous. But it's only because we've been taught that miracles are impossible. Until you understand how they work. Then, if I let go of this pen and it falls, nobody went, oh my God, it fell. Of course it would fall, because gravity is real. Creative flow is real as well. As we choose to interact with it, as we choose to leverage its power, that's when everything changes. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, share. I think I'm seeing I've dropped some frames, so I'm thinking the network was probably wonky this morning, but hopefully the message got out okay. See you on the web.